What's up? It's Nelson from Gary and Nelson on Froggy 98 in Lincoln, Nebraska. Yes, they've got the voices of angels and asses that won't quit. You are listening to the Hoppe and SuperRICH Show.
Call the show, 847-866-WNUR. It's 847-866-9687. It's a quick reminder for all you people with short-term memory loss. Portions of the Hoppe and SuperRICH Show may be inappropriate for younger or more sensitive, uptight listeners. We believe this material to be artistically and culturally significant. All right, what's coming up?
Well, here's a different culture. The couple took and intended to hurt Amish girls, cops say.
Like, that must take a real creep to hurt innocent people like that. Like, Amish people don't have fun in life. Leave them alone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. This is from Canton, New York. Two young Amish sisters were sexually abused. That sucks. After their abduction from a roadside farm stand.
Do you think when you get touched, it just ruins sex for you forever? Because every time you have that,
probably, especially
you have that, like, release, you just think of that moment, that release.
Yeah, well, especially the two Amish people.
Yeah, it's got to be even weirder for them when they're like
worse.
so against sex, you know.
Yeah, from a roadside farm stand in northern New York, St. Lawrence County District Attorney Mary Raines' disclosure came after the county sheriff said the couple charged in the kidnapping were prowling for easy targets and may have planned to abduct other children.
I feel like they are so easy to kidnap, Amish people, because they're so innocent. They don't know about, like, the whole danger thing of people you don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like they're just really easy to, like, interrogate, and that's what makes these imbeciles so much worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. Stephen Howells and Nicole Vasey were arrested and arraigned Friday on charges they abducted the 7-year-old and 12-year-old sisters with the intent to physically or sexually abuse them. We felt that there was the definite potential that there was going to be some other victims, St. Lawrence County Sheriff Kevin Wells said. The sisters were abducted Wednesday from the farm stand in front of the family's home in Osquatachi, near the Canadian border. Oh, it's near the Canadian border. Yeah. They were set free by their captors about 24 hours later and turned up safe at the door of a house 15 miles from where they were taken, thank God. The sheriff said Howells, 39, and Vasey, who's 25, were targeting opportunities and did not necessarily grab the girls because they were Amish. They might not have even known it's possible.
But I feel like when you have that look in your eyes, it's just such like an innocent look.
Right, don't they
that
normally
guy knows that they're just easy to kidnap, which makes them worse. He probably just had that thing where he could just read their face and he knew that's who you kidnapped.
Right. And I'm not sure, but I think they usually wear traditional garment where they wear black, right?
Yeah.
Don't they usually wear long black dresses with a like a bushka over your head?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it's called, but the suspects are being held without bail. A preliminary court hearing is scheduled for Thursday. Vasey's lawyer told the New York Times that Howells had abused Vasey and treated her submissively, but that would be the man treating his wife not good. He said she made a voluntary statement to investigators after her arrest and was obtaining an order of protection against him. She appears to have been the slave and he was the master. Raindo told the newspaper.
How awful is that when you're like a sex slave? Like, that just must ruin your life forever, man. Like, it's just easy for us to come on the air right now and talk about that because we've never had to live through it. But just imagine being a sex slave. How horrible that is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's really bad.
But yeah, they let these guys live in jail, blah, blah, blah. No punishment. They give them a trial.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Wells said the girls were able to provide details to investigators about their time in captivity, so that's a good thing, too, because we'll probably get more information out of that. The Associated Press generally does not identify people who may be victims of sexual abuse, so we don't know names. And
we don't need to, because we don't need them to get kidnapped again.
The kidnapping touched off a massive search in the family's remote farming communities. Searchers scoured the community of about 4,000 people, but were hampered by lack of photos of the girls. The Amish typically avoid modern technology, which is true, and the family had to work with an artist who spoke their language, a German dialect known as Pennsylvania Dutch. I've heard of that.
I feel like
to produce a sketch of the oldest girl.
They just it's so easy to kidnap them because they don't have a phone to get help. They don't know like where the like local internet area is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just so easy to like lose touch with an Amish person. Like if they run away from home, it's hard to find them.
Well, and luckily they turned up safe and everything, so that's good too. Yeah, I guess just if you're Amish, you really have to take care of your surroundings.
But then again, I feel like this does not happen that much because, like, Amish people don't leave their area that much. And mostly people who see Amish people have, like, a respect for them. Like, okay, if you want to have a boring life, we'll leave you alone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like no one ever makes fun of an Amish person. It's like, okay, you don't want to have sex till you're married. You don't drink coffee. You don't drink pop. You don't have electricity. You don't have a phone. You don't have internet.
I mean,
okay,
it's all right, you know?
You know what I mean? Like, I would never do that, but hey, if you want to do it, whatever.
The people like that, they were able to build up our country anyway.
Do you want to live in Pennsylvania? That's fine, whatever.
So, I have respect for people who do that. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to check my phone every 2 minutes, but, it's... God,
I could never be an
Amish
person.
It's a lifestyle choice, and it's
Dude,
pretty cool.
I could never be an Amish person.
No, it would be very tough, and I really commend the people that are Amish because that must take a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice as well.
Because you just want to know what's with all these cool iPhones and that, but you can't use them.
Yeah.
Like, what is the main basis of being an Amish person? Is it...
I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if it's a religious basis or if it's just sort of a, colonial times basis. Because every time I see Amish people, I think, that sort of reminds me of, like, the first settlers that came to America, right? So the Amish, which is sort of a German term, are a group of traditionally Christian church fellowships closely related to but distinct from the
Mennonite
churches with whom they share Swiss Anabaptist origins. Yeah. So if that makes sense, whatever. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
So they're just known for, like, simple living, plain dresses, and they adopt to no modern technology. So I just want to know what they're based off of. If there's someone out there in the radio world that knows more about Amish people,
not in the Chicago area, I wouldn't think.
Or maybe you're Amish and you're breaking the rules and you're up at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, are you breaking the rules right now and listening to the Hoppe and SuperRICH show on 89.3 FM? Is that what's happening?
On TuneIn Radio on your phone.
Hey, if you do
your
that,
parents don't know about,
by all means, call
847-866-WNUR. It's 847-866-9687. What's coming up?
All right, so I actually heard about this story too, so I'm glad you brought it to my attention. MMA fighter Jonathan War Machine
watch out!
Koppenhaver arrested at L.A. area motel, and this guy's a total douche, obviously. Fugitive.
Oh, really? When you're an MMA person and you beat up a girl? When you beat up a girl, that's bad enough. But when you're MMA...
Not just a girl, his adult film star ex-girlfriend, Christy Mack, if you've heard of her.
What does she look like?
What does she look... Well, you can look up a picture of her. The one thing about her that I don't like is she's got, like, the shaved head on one side and then the normal hair on the other side. That's the one thing that kind of turns me off about her. But I mean, sure. I mean, and she's kind of tatted up, but it's.
I hate girls with tats. To me,
yes,
girls with tats are like a nice car with a bunch of bumpers on the back. You know what I mean?
One or two is okay, but when you're covered. When your whole arm is covered,
you look like a trash bag.
When your whole arm is covered, I don't like it. I know some people do, but hey,
I mean,
people in motorcycle gangs.
People say that you don't have sex with the tattoos, but you're looking at it. It's just such a dirty thing. It's like when you put all the decorations on your nice car. That's what a hot girl is with tattoos.
The worst thing about her appearance, I mean, we shouldn't be making fun of her appearance, but the worst thing about her appearance is the shaved head, the buzz cut head.
It's like a grungy look. You know she's a freaking bad though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, she's 100 times better than this asshole. Fugitive and mixed martial arts fighter Jonathan Koppenhaver, a.k.a. War Machine, was arrested in Southern California for the beating of his adult film star ex-girlfriend Christy Mack. Koppenhaver, who's 32, was taken into custody about 1:45 p.m. after Simi Valley Police Department officers discovered he was staying in a local motel after a week on the lam. So, he was undercover pretty much for a week. They notified the U.S. Marshals Department, which issued an arrest warrant. The suspect, a former resident of Simi Valley, was arrested without incident, so that's good. Inside the room was a small quantity of cash and some pizza, because, he likes to relax after he beats up women.
Put on Sports Center, kick the feet out.
Had a good day today. I'll just kick back, see if the Cubs won. He has been transported to the Ventura County Jail, but will eventually go to Las Vegas, the city he fled after the alleged August 8th pummeling of Mack that left her with broken bones, a ruptured liver, and diminished eyesight.
What happens in Vegas gives you a black eye.
What happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas anymore. Mack previously told the Huffington Post what happened and detailed her injuries. So this is a statement by her.
Damn, she got beat up good.
She did. These photos are awful.
It's just like, you're an MMA fighter. You know how strong you are.
Right. Yeah. You can't do that to anybody, especially a woman like this.
And then isn't it like you can't beat up people when you're in the MMA because it's like a license thing?
You might be right about that. I don't follow the sport, so I have no clue. But
it's like you can't beat up people. Like, you shouldn't beat up people in general. But when you have an MMA license, it's like having a weapon. Like, you can't beat up people.
You know how to kill people, in the sense. At least you know how to beat them senseless. Yeah. At about 2 a.m. Friday morning, John Koppenhaver arrived unannounced to my home in Las Vegas, Nevada, after he broke up with me. In May, he moved out of my house and back to San Diego. When he arrived, he found myself and one other fully clothed and her friend fully clothed and unarmed in the house. Without a single word spoken, he began beating up my friend. Once he was finished, he sent my friend away and turned his attention to me.
Go on.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the statement. He made me undress and shower in front of him, like a creep, and then dragged me out and beat my face. Mack also sent photos of her battered body, and you can look at those online if you like.
And then the worst part is he's the biggest pussy because he then was out on the loose. He's such a tough guy that with his MMA muscles and his license to beat people up, he beats up a girl, but then he's out on the loose. What a coward. You know what I mean? You go out wanted. You hide like a little schoolgirl.
So she goes on to say, I have no recollection of how many times I was hit. I just know my injuries that resulted from my beating. My injuries included 18 broken bones around my eyes. My nose is also broken in 2 places. I am missing teeth, and several more are broken. Mack said she can't chew or see out of her left eye. That's probably the worst part about it, that you can't see. My speech is slurred from my swelling and lack of teeth. I have a fractured rib and severely ruptured liver from a kick to my side. Her ex sawed much of my hair off with his dull knife. That's a little strange, too. I feel like this guy's a little psychotic.
Oh, you think?
Clearly he's psychotic.
People who are in the MMA or box are psychotic enough, but when you beat up a girl and you do all these weird fantasy crap, you're psychotic, dude. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Matt continued, he has beaten me many times before, but never this badly. So there's been a history of it.
And why not tell on him, honey? This could have been prevented if you told on him.
That's true. It could have. He took my phone and canceled all of my plans for the following week to make sure no one would be worried about my whereabouts. He told me he was going to rape me, but was disappointed in himself when he could not get hard.
God damn.
So, I guess the guy, I don't know. When Koppenhaver went into the kitchen and left her in a heap on the floor, she escaped by running to a neighbor's house. On his Twitter account last week, Koppenhaver appeared to defend himself while still on the run from police. So, on August 8th at 8:14 a.m., which I think was the morning after, he said, I can't believe this. I must be cursed. And then he says, 2 days later at night at 10:46 p.m. The cops will never give me fair play, never believe me, still deciding what to do, but at the end of the day, it's all just heartbreaking.
Who said this? Him?
Yeah.
You beat up a girl, you douchebag?
Yeah.
What's heartbreaking? That she has a broken face because you're so strong you can kill someone and you had the guts to beat up a girl? Shut up. Quit trying to be the victim. You're a douchebag. You're a thug. You're a punk.
He
tweeted, agree with me?
Yeah, oh, yeah. He tweeted this out on his Twitter account. He goes by War Machine, and his Twitter handle is War Machine 170. I can't imagine that he still has his Twitter up, but maybe. Let's see. And then also, pretty much directly after that, okay, it is. 2 minutes after, I only wish that man hadn't been there and that Christy and I would be happily engaged. So he's saying he didn't do this. by the way.
Who else did it then? The other MMA fighter that was there? Did me and SuperRICH do it? Like, what are you talking about? Who else did it?
Yeah, because he says, I only wish that man hadn't been there and that Christy and I would be happy like guys. Or maybe he's talking about, he's like two different people. He's a bad person and a good person. I don't know why I'm so cursed. One day truth will come out. A fundraising page set up for Max medical expenses has raised more than $65,000 on Friday, and that's that.
How will the cops never give you fair play? When you're an MMA fighter, you're a thug, you're a psychotic, and you beat up a girl. Where's the fair play in that? Oh, she slapped you first? Yeah, let's knock her out. It's just, like, what does that even mean? And how much is heartbreaking? It's heartbreaking that she was with you for this long and that she dealt with your crap when you're beating the crap out of her, you douchebag. Like, this is the guy who's mad that he got caught. This is the guy who's mad that now everyone knows that he's a wife-beating, ruthless dirtbag. He's an S-head. You know what I mean? Like, he's mad that he got caught. He's not sorry. He wants to keep doing the MMA crap, just like Ray Rice. But I just want to go back and play some football. This is the same thing. He wants to go back in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he definitely does.
He's not saying sorry to her or to her family. He's trying to make this about him, man. Screw off. I hope you burn in hell, you douchebag.
Coming up, the Hoppe and SuperRICH Show.
847-866-WNUR. It's 847-866-9687. What's coming up?
All right, how to lose friends on Facebook. So that should be an interesting article. We'll read about that coming up. Yeah, so, and we'll also have some other stories, too, to show. As my computer froze, so I can't get to anything else. But yeah, stick around.
All right, we will be right back on the Hoppe and SuperRICH Show here on WNUR 89.3 FM. After this, do not touch that dial.
The Hoppe and SuperRICH Show.
This is an official broadcast of Hoppe Radio. For more info, check out hopperadio.com and hoppesworld.com.